We're here with Ryan Pereira. He's country head of Sienna India. Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about Sienna's activities in India?
Sienna has been in Indian telecom market for well over 10 years. So we've been involved in building a number of pan-Asian networks in the country. Particularly after Sienna's acquisition of Notel MEN assets, we've expanded quite significantly in terms of our footprint. So to date, we're in a number of top customers. In fact, the top 3 customers in the country are using Sienna equipment. And also we're in a number of utility, telecoms, and several enterprise customers. So we've expanded and established ourselves pretty well in the last couple of years. Another key aspect was in the last 2 years, we've also ventured into submarine networks. From an Indian context, submarine networks are pretty important because the operators like Reliance, Tata, Bharti, key players in the submarine arena. So we were quite successful in winning a number of submarine deals from RGCOM and also CME-V4, where Bharti and Tata are consortium partners. Another aspect worth mentioning about Sienna India is our R&D facility. We have a pretty strong R&D facility with 350 plus people, 100,000 square foot facility out of Gurgaon in Delhi, which is one of our largest R&D facilities outside the United States. And this has given us that extra flexibility to being able to customize solutions for the Indian customers. So we've done a fair bit of customizations in the last while with that asset.
What are some of the unique challenges being faced by the Indian operators?
India is a mobile-centric telecom environment. We got 600 to 700 million mobile subscribers growing, and we got 3G and LTE, coming in, and the enterprise segment is growing. So we see a huge growth, in the bandwidth. So from a transport standpoint, building core networks is a key challenge for our operators. So when I say core networks, it includes long distance, regional, and metro. Some of the key challenges faced by our operators, can be classified under 3 categories. How are you going to build the network, build the bandwidth at scale, and how are you going to manage that bandwidth, and how are you going to differentiate that bandwidth. I'll try to describe them under those 3 categories. So building 40 and 100 is just not sufficient. The unique Indian challenge comes from fiber cuts and the increasing losses. We have over 30 cuts a day, and sometimes up to 10,000 switching instances because of those cuts. So, so because of these frequent fiber cuts, you got frequent fiber splicing, and your loss starts increasing. So operators are looking for these transport solutions with much higher optical SNR capabilities. So that's one of the things that Sienna brought in, and that's why, in fact, our optical SNR on 40 and 100 is much better than our 10, and that led to them choosing our solutions. So that way, it can sustain that accumulating fiber losses. And also the coherent receivers that we bring in, and also the electronic dispersion compensation and QPSK type technologies all come together to fix this, to resolve this unique Indian problem of fairly lossy outside plant. So that's from a scale standpoint. And then comes, how are you going to manage this bandwidth you just built? We see our operators wanting to do this bandwidth management very carefully at packet level, at OTN level, and also at photonic level. So we see our operators now selecting solutions which can do all these 3 things. Which I believe, compared to Asia, in the Asian standpoint, probably fairly advanced. We build these days solutions that do OTN control plane and also layer 0 control plane, so that the networks can be better managed in the context of better grooming and bandwidth management. The another thing is, again, having been in the Indian environment for well over 10 years, we've also customized our control planes quite a bit. We've got very specialized control plane deployments for India in order to sustain this huge fiber cuts, huge number of fiber cuts, and the kind of capacity we run. Now we've converged both layer 1 control plane as well as layer 0 control plane to deliver these bandwidth management requirements customer has. Then comes how you're going to differentiate the bandwidth. So we're also putting a lot of emphasis on, I guess, the SLA management, report generation, and service provisioning. We see operators, particularly the large enterprise operators, wanting very specialized SLA reporting structure. So that's again something that we have specialized in, and we've developed some very Indianized solutions for that. I think that's also something that our customers value going forward.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of Siena's plans for India in 2012?
In addition to our main focus on our service providers, which we're doing pretty well, we will also be focusing on government networks as well as, in particular, defense networks. In India, we've got a number of government and defense initiatives to expand these networks, and we're very actively working on those opportunities.